Rebecca, how's it been going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Today was just to kind of cover how to correctly set up all your TradeView access tokens for all of your TradeView-based prop firm connections. And then, as you probably heard our announcement recently, we went live with ProjectX. How many prop firms are you working with that use ProjectX?
Two.
Two. Which ones are you with?
Top One Futures, and I'm currently working on a combine with Top Step.
Okay, cool.
That rebuild
Yes.
that I forgot I was going
Awesome.
to rebuild.
Oh, so it rebuild and you're like, well, I guess I have it now, huh?
Oh, I know. And then you guys announced the ProjectX. I was like, sweet.
Perfect. Yep. Same here. I have a couple of the ProjectX accounts and I traded them for the first time today. Seemed to go pretty well. There are some quirks, so I'll cover that with you. It's not exactly the same experience as you have with TradeView, but it is very getting into the prices I'm hoping for and so on and so forth. So cool. Let's awesome. First kind of get into your TradersPost account and we'll get the accounts fixed. I had covered this on our documentation on TradersPost, essentially how we manage a single access token for all of your TradeView accounts. Or all your prop firm accounts that use TradeView. And the way our system works is there's sort of two major concepts when it comes to a broker. You have a broker connection, which uses an access token, which is our key to access your accounts. And inside of your single login, you might have 15 or 20 accounts inside that TradeView connection. In many cases, if you're using Apex, you most likely have like 20 accounts like I do, right?
I do.
I do. So the main thing with our system is you only need one access token. And that means we can share that access token and we'll get each of your accounts updated so that you're managing one access token and that'll work a little bit better for TradeView. When you have multiple connections made to TradeView, essentially you can run up against a limit where they're going to start blocking access to their API. And I think you experienced that maybe a week ago where you were running into some glitches. Yeah, and so that's kind of what happened there. We made a quick improvement to the system to fix that problem. And now we just need to kind of fix it on your account. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to click on the brokers tab on the left-hand side. And one of these is going to end up becoming our parent account. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, I see the inactive brokers there. That says, can you click on edit for that inactive brokers? Is this the one that's connected to your Apex accounts? Click the choose paper account drop down there. And do you see a bunch of Apex accounts there?
Yes.
Okay, so this can be used as your parent account then. So I would rename this from TradeView 10 to Apex parent account.
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
All right, so we're not going to choose any paper account inside of this because, like I mentioned earlier, there's two concepts when it comes to brokers. There's the broker connection, where we save your access token, and then there's the broker accounts. So this broker connection is going to be blank without any paper account connected to it, and it's just going to house your access token for TradeView. So we're going to hit save now.
Okay.
And then we're going to start making the clones of this account, which is going to use this as the parent account. So in the top right-hand corner, there's that 3-dot menu there next to dashboard on the left-hand side. Hit clone. And this will make a clone of it, but now you can choose one of those Apex accounts in the dropdown. Any one you prefer. We can start from the lowest numeric value or the highest one, whichever you prefer.
Here's the problem. I think some of those are funded. So I don't want to do the funded ones yet. I want to do
the ones you only want to connect here. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with 17 first. That one's just here we go, an eval.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And then you can give it the name, whatever name you want to keep track of it.
Okay.
And hit save.
It's wrong. It's wrong. 11. Save.
Oh, 11 instead of 17?
See, it's already connected.
Okay, that's right. So we'll want to go and let's think about the quickest way and easiest way to do this. Basically, all of your existing connections right now have a copied or another individual access token. So ultimately, what we're going to have to do is delete those broker instances and then add them back one by one through this cloning process. And then we'll set up the subscriptions for your existing connected accounts. And then we'll come back and finish this process here. So if
I
you
have
click
it open
on
in another tab, so I'm just doing it in another tab.
Oh, that's fine too. Yeah.
Okay, so then let's do that. Done. For that
So
one.
did you just that one was deleted?
Just what I'll do one at a time, because then that's
Okay.
easier for me to remember the numbers.
Perfect. So
yeah.
I see that you named it Apex 11, but this is your 17 account. Did you want those to match up or no?
That's silly, but I had it. Yeah, I'll just do it now because there was a method to that madness, but I will just.
Well, don't let me change it. I'm just curious that you had it 11. Okay.
It was just me. It was a weird thing that I was doing. Okay, so that one's done. So then I'll do the next one, or like go through those.
Okay. You can sort of delete the old ones.
Okay.
Yep, one by one, and then once they're deleted, we can create them again through the clone process. When you delete a broker, it also deletes the subscription. So, yep, this one's 20.
That's fine. Okay, I'm telling you because I want to remember. This one is 20.
Okay.
So then we'll go here.
Back to go back to the brokers. Click on the brokers. Yep. And we'll go down to the bottom
here.
And then you don't even have to enter it. You can just hit the 3-dot menu there.
Oh, sorry, I already entered it. Okay, clone.
Yep.
Confirm.
And then we'll do 20.
Okay, there we go. Whereas my son likes to say, Mom, it's twen. I was like, it's not. It's 20, but okay. Twen, Mom. So, yeah, I'm like, okay. So then this one is 6.
Okay.
I had a pretty good day. Only a $70 loss. That's not that bad.
Not bad.
So then brokers, not bad. Dug myself out there. Clone, confirm. I'm definitely someone who talks out loud. 6, Apex 6, save. 20. See, this is confusing. And this one is 25. Delete. Oops.
Now, for anybody who's brand new to TradersPost, you won't really have to go through this process because we made the change to where we automatically share the access token. But in Rebecca's case, we made that. That's right.
Yeah, there we go. I'm an early adapter.
That's right.
Isn't that what it was called? Did we learn that in school?
Early adopter.
So then an early adopter. Is it adopter? Yeah, that makes way more sense. Not adapter. Okay, so an adapter.
3.
Edit this out. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, 3. Delete. Numero 3. Okay, go down. Sorry if I'm like painfully slow at this. You're like,
no, this is the process right now. Obviously, going forward, because you have that parent account, if you go to add another account in the future, you don't even have to do this cloning process. You'll just go add another trade of 8, and it will automatically use the parent account.
Okay, well, sometimes it's cathartic to do like tedious things back and forth. What about like my take profit trader and my Tradeify? Like, will I put them under the same? It is the same strategy that I'm using for all of them.
So the process that I've started to do is I always create a parent account for the prop firm login. Essentially, one login will house all of your accounts with that prop firm. So in the future, you could convert your take profit trader into a parent account and then follow the same process again. But for now, you do have different access tokens for Take Profit and for Tradeify. That's because those are different logins than your Apex login.
Got it. Through Tradeivate.
Yeah, exactly. Through Tradeivate. Every time you have a different login, you're going to need a different access token. But when you have multiple accounts, you want to try to share that same access token as much as possible. So we've now done that for all of your Apex accounts here. You have.
So I can leave these two as the same because there's just the one.
That's right. If you only have one account in the future, you may want to do the same thing where you have a parent account and then you have your two individual Take Profit Trader accounts.
Awesome.
Okay, so we fixed that problem, but now none of those accounts are connected to your strategy. So let's head over to strategies.
Okay.
And remember, a strategy is where it houses the rules for how our trades should be executed, but we have to subscribe our brokers to that strategy. You'll see that there's only two subscriptions now connected to this, which should be your Take Profit Trader and your, sorry, who was the other firm?
Tradeify.
Yep. So we're going to go and subscribe your Apex accounts now back to this strategy.
Okay. Do I press subscribe?
Yep.
That would make sense. Okay. There we go.
That's the one.
Okay. That's the one. Okay. So then we would do these 5. So just create. Right.
And when you hit create, you're going to need to also enable auto submit. So we'll just click on auto submit. Oh, did you want that to now be default bearish?
That means I can only sell, right?
It means, yeah, it'll only allow an incoming sell order to come through. Before we start making all these subscriptions, we'll probably want to change your default settings if you're going to be making changes. That way it's easier as you subscribe each one. It'll just take the default settings from your strategy.
Yeah, that makes sense. But don't we have it just bearish? I can't remember. Or does that because does it need to be both bullish and bearish so then it can't it stops out the trade at the exit?
No, a buy to close is an exit, and that's not a bullish sentiment. So
perfect.
Yeah. So if you want to make a few changes here, my suggestion would be to start with going to strategies first.
Okay, and then here.
And clicking on edit. Yep.
And then it goes down
at
to
the very
the
bottom.
Subscription defaults.
That's it. Yep, that's the one. And then you can see at the top, you have the checkbox already set. Do you want to apply these default settings to all new strategy subscriptions? Yes, we do. So we have that checked. Now we'll change those settings one by one. So sides we want as bearish. You do want to probably keep disable side swapping checked because you don't want our system to automatically swap from long to short and short to long for you.
I think that it doesn't let me though. It only lets you have that if you have both bullish and bearish selected. If you have just one, it just automatically does it.
You can just leave that checked. Okay. Were there other changes you wanted to make?
Actually, I get an error. Let's see. No. That's it. So save. Is it going to let me?
Okay.
No.
Oh, you were right. Okay. My bad. You know the software better than I do at this point.
Look at that. I'm playing around with it. Okay. So then.
All right. So you had started to create that other subscription. So click on subscriptions and we'll finish up 17. We'll go ahead and edit that one. And then auto submit, we'll do bearish.
But it should just do it anyways, right? Because it should go.
Sure. And then uncheck and then enable.
Perfect. Good. Just want to make sure that this is not enabled on my chart.
And that will put us. Okay. So now we'll go back
and then go to
strategies.
Again. Strategies.
You can do it from either place, but yeah, go ahead and now you have 3 and now you can subscribe to the next one in line.
So 17 is done. Create. Do I need to select that every time?
You do. We need to, as part of sort of our compliance process, we require that you hit the auto submit button each time.
Okay.
So yeah, you will have to do that. But the good news is all your settings copied over just as you expected.
Perfect. Okay, done.
All right, so now you have all 7 subscriptions set up.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so that fixed your access token issue. Did you want to add any of the ProjectX accounts now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So if we head over to brokers,
Okay.
we can connect to paper. And you can click prop
Let's do
firms to filter it down if you want. Otherwise, it's in the list here.
Here we
All right,
go.
so a couple questions here for the ProjectX process. Have you signed up for a ProjectX account?
Yes. Like I'm trading ProjectX with them. Is that what you mean?
You're trading TopStepX on their ProjectX integration, but you key on ProjectX in order to use this feature.
How much is that?
It's $29 a month. We're working on trying to get coupon codes for this, but let me give you the link for how to sign up for this. I think this is part of the bigger strategy here, but it's dashboard.projectx.com. And if you head to that, I think it's going to have you go through the account creation process. And like when you click register, you'll create a new username, email address, password, and you'll get a whole account created with them. And then essentially what's going to happen here is you're going to link your ProjectX prop firms to your ProjectX dashboard. And then once you've done that, you use the API key that's in this system.
Done. Click link to connect your account to your ProjectX dashboard. Add API key. I mean, they have 5 steps here that I'm supposed to remember.
I can kind of help you through it, but
home linked.
Essentially what we're going to do now is head over and log into that dashboard if you want to share your screen there too.
Okay.
Okay, now click on the settings icon on the left. The very left bar.
Yep.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And then click on API.
API.
And then we're going to click that link button. Yep. And when you do that, that should go to ProjectX.
Okay, linked.
And then when you go back to TopStepX now, you should be able to add an API key. You're going to take that API key as well as your TopStep login, and that's what you're going to use to log in on TradersPost.
Ask yourself this. Are you making trading harder than it needs to be? If you're trading manually or still coding just to connect to your broker, yeah, it's time to upgrade. TradersPost lets you automate trades using signals from tools like TradingView or TrendSpider or even your own custom setup. It works with brokers like TradeStation, Trade8, Coinbase, and a bunch more. I've been using it myself, and getting started was smooth. The platform's clean, setup's quick, and once it's running, it just works. And when you're ready to scale, more strategies, prop firms, or sharing signals with your community, TradersPost handles it. It's built to grow with you. Start your free trial at TradersPost.io. Trade smarter, automate your edge.
So connect paper. And then would I do TopStep or ProjectX?
Well, TopStep
would be okay. Just making sure. Okay, so
TopStepX rather. I think we have it listed as TopStep there though.
You have it listed as TopStep. So my username, my ProjectX username. And there's my API key.
It is actually your TopStepX username and your API key that you just generated that you put in here. I know this gets really confusing because there's too many logins at this point.
To be that person, but maybe it should say enter your TopStepX username.
You're not wrong.
Change that?
I will make that improvement. Yes.
Okay. Thanks. Just because I can't, I have two different names for them. So let me share my screen here. So I've done that. That's actually not that hard. Like, I think once you get things kind of up, like I just wouldn't know how to do that unless I had you telling me exactly how to do that. I wouldn't know where to start. But now I know.
That's why
Okay,
I
so
wanted
here
to
we
make a video
are.
about all of this because it's a little confusing for sure.
Nice. That's why we're here.
Yep.
So top step, I'm going to name it 100K Combine. Okay. Don't judge me. I'm going to do max strategy position is this 40.
Well, remember that's for a position, not for number of contracts. We don't have a feature to limit number of contracts yet.
That's right. Okay, so I'll just save.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I want to subscribe to a strategy.
That's it.
And I'm going to subscribe it to this strategy and then create. And I'm going to do auto submit bearish. But what I'm going to do on this one is position size 20.
Got it.
Save.
So I like that you showcase that, because that is definitely a feature people should be aware of with TradersPost. Essentially, because we have multiple subscriptions to a single strategy, you can decide with certain account connections whether you want it to take a bigger size or not. So what you just did here is, instead of it taking the fixed quantity of 10 contracts, it'll actually look for the incoming signal and take 20 instead.
Perfect. Okay, and now I'm just jumping ahead a little bit and I'm connecting my top one account. So add API key. I'm just not showing it. Now I'll go back. So that's done. Now I'll go to brokers and then I will go to connect paper. And then I will go to top one futures. Agree. I'm just going to stop sharing for a second.
Yep, no worries.
So this one I have.
Here you put in.
Oh, it says tokens invalid with that one. Invalid, not unvalid. So hold on. Maybe my copying didn't work very well. Just one second.
Okay. You were using your top one login though? Top one username?
Yeah, I thought so.
I have noticed that in some cases it's the email and not the username.
Well, I did my email. Oops,
okay.
I just did the API key twice. Hold on. Paste, connect. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
It just probably copied. It didn't copy the new one. Probably had the top step one open there. So let's share again. Screen share. There we go. Okay. So I have three of the, I don't actually have four. So I have to make sure that I don't have four, because if they allow you to have max 3, but they don't actually limit it on their, like they don't make it so you absolutely cannot do it on their dashboard. So you actually can trade more than 3 on their dashboard, but it's could disable, like you could get denied a payout for that reason. So I just have to make sure that they're the right accounts. So 3, because one is practice, that's why. So 36119. Here we go. Top one futures 1.
Okay, and then if you hit save here, I believe what you can do is now clone this, so you don't have to run through that process again for the second account. Oh, never mind. Okay, so I'll talk to my dev team about maybe making this process a little bit easier for sharing another login, because otherwise you'll have to go back and put in the API key and username again.
That's okay. So sorry. So I have to go back to brokers and then connect paper and then do top one again and then agree and then top one futures 2 API key, paste, connect, and then.
Well, hold on. That's not your username. You got to use your top one.
You're right. Sorry.
Username.
Yep. My bad there. And then I want to do 36689. There we go. And save. And then we'll do that again. You're right. I understand what you're saying, that it would be a lot easier to just clone it, right? Yeah. So connect. And then my last one is 36690. Save. Okay. I had a bunch, for the record, I had a bunch of Apex ones on there, but I passed them, so they're gone. Yay.
Do you plan on trading those differently?
My funded?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely through TradersPost.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'll set those up, and I guess like what I would do is can I have a different parent one for those ones, because it's going to be a different strat. It's going to be the same strategy, but sorry, jumping a little bit ahead. It's going to be the same strategy, but like 2 micros.
Okay. You can create another strategy that has rules about position size by default, and then only connect your funded accounts to that strategy. But then that would require a different webhook URL for your line. So you probably want to trade like a different chart as well and a different line. But if you still want to trade all the same signals, you can do it all through the same strategy, but then do that subscription override to change the number of contracts for those funded subscriptions.
That's what I'll do.
Okay.
I like that better. So now I'm on top futures 1, and I will actually I'll go to strategies, and then I'll go to subscribe, and then I'll do top 1 futures, and then create, auto submit, bearish, and then this one I'm going to do 15. Save. So I guess the only thing, which I think we should do in another video, is if, I didn't press enable. Wait, did it work? Oh, that was my fault. I forgot to press the enable button. There we go. Create.
Wait a minute. You're making another
What?
Subscription.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah, click on subscriptions there on the left.
I saved it, but I didn't enable it.
Okay, I might have missed that part, but now you have 2. So delete the one at the very top there. There you go. And then edit the one that's left, and we'll enable that guy.
So 15, enable.
Great.
I was going to say that I think in another video we should show how you can scale in and scale out, because I know you do that.
Yes. I don't scale out though. I scale in, but I'll exit everything at once.
Yeah, okay. That's like me.
Okay. It is possible to scale out though, but I'll have to show you how to set up the exits.
Okay. So now I have 9. So now let's do subscribe, and then we want to do top on futures 2, create, auto submit, bearish, 15. Can I just press enable right away?
Yes, you can.
Instead of save and then enable? Okay.
Yeah, it probably should say save and enable, because that's what's happening.
That makes more sense. So then strategies, subscribe, and then there we go, create. And I just remembered I actually have the futures desk also that does ProjectX, but I'm going to be live streaming with them, so I'll probably just keep that on their platform,
nice.
There.
Okay.
So auto submit, bearish, and then 15, which is a bit aggressive, but let's see. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so now we got all your prop firm accounts connected here, even through ProjectX, which is great. Like I said, though, if you hit dashboard, see all 11 there now. One thing you will notice is that normally if you're in a trade, I'm sure you've been checking this page as much as I have when I'm trading, you can see all your open P&L on all of your accounts. Unfortunately, we can't get your open P&L from ProjectX. So when you go to this dashboard, it's going to look like you're not in a trade when you really are. So what you'll want to do is click on one of those brokers, like Top 1 Futures 1.
Yeah.
And you'll see that open positions will be there, but the P&L won't be reported. So the way I've been kind of doing this is because I'm trading my ProjectX accounts in line with my TradeAvate accounts, I'm just kind of keeping track of my performance through my TradeAvate accounts. And I know that if I have the ProjectX account performance. So when I go to exit, I expect to see the same performance in those accounts. One thing you can do, though, is you can log into your Top 1 Futures ProjectX dashboard, and you can keep track of your live P&L there. You just can't see it here on TradersPost.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. The one thing too about TradeAvate, TradingView, and maybe I'm wrong, is it's just, and the nice thing about Project X is you can see like a dollar amount what your stop loss would be. I think like with TradingView, it's a bit tough because you enter in and then I like make my stop loss or whatever, and I definitely have to do like math to figure out what my stop loss amount is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, is there any? I guess there's no way to change that.
Well, all right. When you send your signal through profit and stop loss with it,
no, I drag my lines.
You just drag your lines and then you send an exit when you're ready to get out, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
And I can double check here as well, like, because that will work with Project X. But if you're looking to set a pre-specified take profit and stop loss, that unfortunately won't work through Project X at the moment. They don't support bracket orders. So we can't submit a take profit and stop loss with the entry, if that makes sense.
Yes, I don't use bracket orders though, so that's no worries. I just mean it's nice to be like, oh, I drag like my stop loss on Project X, and I can see, okay, my stop loss like is worth, my stop loss is $1,000 or $500 or $400 or whatever it is. Because I'm with my chair there.
So on right now with my team that we're calling a position manager in TradingView, where you specify the number of contracts you're in, and it shows you where your take profit or stop loss would be, and you can drag those lines around and it would do the math for you. So we can make this a little bit easier for you, and we'll get you that indicator as soon as that's live.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really helpful. I mean, because it's not that big of a deal, but I think like 15 micros is like $75 a point. That's hard to, I'm like, math. I just can't think about it, but yeah, that would be really cool. Like $50 a point is a little easier to figure out, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I should just do 10 micros instead of
well, even with 10, it's still $5 a point. So you have to divide by 2 if you multiply by 10, whatever. I get
right? It's too tough.
Get you. It's a little bit tougher.
Yes.
Yeah, it's too tough. We got all of your accounts set up now. You're ready to trade the lines for tomorrow. And did you mind sharing kind of like your approach just for everybody watching here? You're manually trading from TradingView through TradersPost to all these accounts now. And this allows you to now send one signal from TradingView that gets sent to us through a webhook URL. And I know a moment ago we were talking about this position manager. Because we're not connected as a broker on TradingView, you can't see your open P&L or any of that kind of stuff. So you're kind of trading blindly, except you go to the TradersPost dashboard, kind of refresh, and you can keep track of your performance that way, right? So we are working on a way to kind of like build a position manager indicator that lets you kind of see your live performance from TradingView. But I'm curious if you're willing to share your screen real quick and just sort of how you're using lines to send alerts off to TradersPost.
Yes. So I have it open here. We're way above like where my actual lines would be. But like, as you can see, for example, here, like this bar that I marked off in red is the resistance that we've seen in the like regular trading hours. We haven't been able to get above this kind of area in I'm in electronic, but in regular, like we did a little bit here, but this is because I'm super zoomed in. But on the 15-minute, 30-minute, like on the higher times frames, this has been the area of resistance. So just for today, I entered into a trade, and so what I do is I have this line here that I'll drag onto I wait for the candle to close. I drag it onto the candle and I enter into my trade, and I'm just going to put it way up here and then turn it off. And then I have 2 white lines on my screen. Where's my other one? It'll be way up here. Is my stop loss. Yeah. So this acts as my stop loss, and then this one would act as my take profit. So then I just drag and drop like where I want them to be. According to, for me, I do VWAPs, and then that's it. Like super simple. Super simple. There you go. And not that I encourage this, but it is very easy to do on a phone. if you are a mobile trader.
Yeah, I guess to be fair, once you have it on mobile, you're just able to click the line on the chart and drag it around from there, right?
Yep.
And that would reset the alert. Yep.
Yeah. So just don't do what I did and like couldn't figure out where I could find my alerts on the mobile. Like on mobile, I'm like, because I wanted to turn it off because I was driving, and I knew that. Oh yeah. Because even when you exit your trade, like your entry is still valid, is still enabled, and so I was like, yeah, and that's when I messaged you.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. And then obviously in TradersPost, we do have a mobile version of it. So you can always disable your strategy temporarily so that it blocks any incoming trades as well. Yeah. Okay, cool.
So easy. I've used that enable and disable button a lot.
So we'll do another deep dive video on TradersPost as well. But basically what we've shown Rebecca here to do is basically create a line on the chart, add an alert to that line, put in the instructions for how it should execute. She adds her webhook URL, and then that one line is now in control of all of her accounts that are connected to the system. And how's that experience been for you so far, just trading with lines in general?
It's what I do anyways. Like I've been using lines for almost a year now to mark off kind of what I'm looking for. I do VWAPs and then the opening range, 15-minute opening range high and low, which I use lines. It's so simple. It's so easy. The one thing to be aware of if you're someone like me is waiting for the candle to close before like dropping and activating your line, because like you said, if it's on the wick, it will activate the trade. So waiting, like for me, I need breaks into the opening range or breaks above VWAP. So if you're doing it on a wick and you get entered into a trade, that could obviously, like if that's not your edge, that could backfire on you. So just being aware of that. But it's been honestly extremely simple.
Cool.
Like really simple and easy.
Awesome. Yeah. I found the same experience. I've been doing it with the lines in the same exact way for a little over a month now, and it's been great. And remind me, weeks now, and just in that time, didn't you pass a bunch of Apex counts using this technique as well?
I did. I passed 15 of them in 10 days.
That's awesome. Well done.
To be fair, I had a 10-day winning streak, so that helps.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, like it being able to just like drag and exit out of one place has really helped me stay consistent across those accounts, because I used to like just click and exit out, and it'd be like, oh, some trades I'd get out with, you know, like a couple of the days it was barely break even. It was like $50 an account, but at least I got $50 on all accounts. Like previously when I've done this, it's been like, oh, I got out with $50 and then I was too slow, so I got out minus 20 or minus 30 or 30 and then 12, and like all these, they're just all over the place, and usually it results in like a red day. So it's been really, really great to just be able to do it all in one.
Exactly. Somebody asked about that recently on Twitter as well, like how this compares to Replicanto and some of the other platforms that are out there. And maybe it helps to know like kind of how things work behind the scenes at TradersPost. Essentially, when you set that line on the chart and the alert activates from TradingView and that webhook URL is sent, we look up all the accounts that are connected to that strategy, and we trade them all concurrently, meaning it's all executed in parallel at the same time. So it's not like you have to wait for one to finish before the next is executed. And that's why most of your accounts should always have basically exactly the same P&L, if not off by just a couple of ticks. For the most part, I've seen that most of mine have, maybe 1 or 2 ticks of slippage, and they're off by $1 or $2 on their P&L.
I haven't even noticed. It's been for me exactly the same.
The same? Interesting. Gotcha. Yeah, mine sometimes are off by just a little bit. Okay, cool. Well, I think that was it. I just wanted to kind of cover the whole process. We've got Access Token set up. We got ProjectX done now. We've got you trading on lines on the platform. Appreciate you taking the time here, Rebecca.
Thank you.